Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to do another writing lesson. I love reading your writing. You are doing an awesome job. Remember, this is our first rough draft of our realistic fiction series. So we're going to have a lot of chances to write, and this is good practice. So this one is not even going to be your best story. You're going to keep getting better and better and better. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about how to make your characters come to life. I want you to take small steps, really describe what is going on, and talking about the inside and how the character is feeling, and then what that looks like on the outside. So, you're going to make your character move, make your character talk, make your character feel. And a lot of you did a great job using these feeling words, and I did it here. So remember where I left off. Matt starts to feel anxious and uneasy. And I noticed a lot of you are talking about how your characters are scared or shy or nervous or anxious like mine because you're establishing your problem. So usually your character is feeling a negative way, not a good way, a bad way. Now, I can add on to this by stating, what does that look like? If he feels anxious and uneasy, and I'm going to go back to this page, and remember, he starts to get sick and he gets sweaty. So it looks like Matt starts to get sweaty and his heart is going to start to pound. So what does it sound and look like? His heart pounds. So you can hear his heart pounding. And his hands sweat. Now, I noticed that a lot of you just said your character was nervous. Well, what does that look like if your character is nervous? I want you to describe what that looks like, what that sounds like. Maybe your character will sweat, or you'll hear the heart thumping because he's so nervous. This helps bring our characters to life. I used my planning sheet from before, so I just wanted to add that little sentence on to this page. And now I'm ready for my next page. So remember, you established your problem, and now it's going to get a little bit worse. And how did our problem get worse? Well, when I wrote it here, the teacher gives the class a big writing project. So now I'm going to have my problem get a little bit worse before I write my solution. So I'm going to say, today, Matt was more nervous than normal because Mr. K, that other character, gave a big writing project. Oh, right. I made my problem get worse, right? Now, what does that look like, sound like? How can I add on to that? Well, he would have to say something, right? Make your character talk. Make your character move. Make your character feel. So let's have Mr. K say something. He said, and I'm going to use you must write your own realistic fiction series. Don't worry about the quotation marks, like I said. So instead of just having one sentence, I added another sentence. I made Mr. K talk, and that helps bring my story to life. He said, "You must write your own realistic fiction series." Does that sound familiar? Yep. Am I using my real life? Yep. That's what makes realistic fiction realistic. This is happening in real life, so I'm using my experiences and putting them in my story. The last thing I'm going to say now is let's make Matt feel something. After the Mr. K said you must write your own realistic fiction series, how do you think Matt is reacting to that? Let's make Matt move. Let's make Matt talk, or let's make Matt feel. So how about this? Matt felt. So now he's feeling, and what happens? He feels sick. And he started to, oh no, Matt, it's gonna be okay. Look, it's like the all is lost moment. Our problem got even worse. Matt felt sick and he started to cry. Notice how I slowed down my story. Take it step by step. So Matt felt sick and he started to cry. Now I can solve my problem on my next page. And remember, I said the teacher's going to help Matt solve the problem. So think of some ways we could solve it. Maybe Mr. K sees Matt crying and says, "Matt, what's the matter?" And then that's how the teacher notices the problem and helps Matt. Maybe it can be solved in a different way. But I already said the teacher's going to solve it. So I'll probably have my next page be something about Mr. K and how he notices Matt crying. But notice how my problem got even worse. And that's what I want you to practice today. See if you can make your problem worse. See if you can unfreeze your character, bring your character to life. Have your character talk, have your character move, have your character feel. Talk about how your character feels, and then talk about what that looks like. Matt feels anxious. Well, what does that look like? His hands get wet and sweaty. That's what it looks like. His heart starts to pound. That's what it sounds like or feels like. Practice making your problem a little bit worse, and then our last step will be coming up with a solution and how to solve the problem. Keep up the good work.